The Edo period, or Tokugawa period, is a period between 1600 and 1868 in the history of Japan, when Japanese society was under the rule of the Tokugawa shogunate and the country's 300 regional daimyo. The period was characterized by economic growth, strict social order, isolationist, foreign policies, a stable population, no more wars, and popular enjoyment of arts and culture. The shogunate was officially established in Edo on March 24, 1603 by Tokugawa Ieyasu. The period came to an end with the Meiji Restoration on May 3, 1868, after the fall of Edo. The samurai are legendary in their warrior powers and skill, dedication, loyalty, and true honor.
Social strata. First is the shogun, is the most powerful military ruler. Then goes to daimyo. The daimyo provides the samurais with the income from their agricultural lands. In turn, the warriors or the samurais protect their lands and fight with their enemies. Ronin. Ronin is another class of the samurai community. The difference between samurai and Ronin is that the latter has a lower social status than the former, and they do not serve the daimyos like that of the samurai. The Ronin class has no political power and they depend on others for their economic needs. Peasant. 90% of the Japan population is made up of the peasant class. They work as farmers in the agricultural estates of the daimyos right next to the samurai. The Confucian philosophy claims that the peasants belongs to a higher rank than the artisans or the merchants, because peasants are the people who produce food for the society as a whole. Artisans. These groups of people belongs to the common class. They craft various art items, cooking pots, farm tools, weapons, and utensils. They are highly respected for their innovative art and craft designs. They market their designs all over Japan to make their livings. The merchants belong to the class Shawn. In the earlier times, they were being seen as inferior classes. They were even restricted to social settings and to interact with people in the past. Now, they can take part in the community's activities and might mingle with other peoples in social settings.
Ronin. Who are they? A Ronin, Langren, drifter or wanderer, also a samurai without a lord or master during the feudal period of Japan. A samurai becomes masterless from the death or fall of his master. According to the Bushido, a samurai was supposed to commit seppuku upon the loss of his master.
Religion of the Edo period. The Edo period was under the rule of the Tokugawa shogunate. During the years between 1603 and 1868, Japan is an island nation where many ideas have been passed through, and in the Tokugawa, 3 religions have been established a presence in Japan. In the beginning, Buddhism was forced upon the people of Edo, and thus was the main religion. Buddhism was the religion which brought many changes to the Edo society, including bringing new theories on government, a means to establish a strong centralized authority, a system for writing, advanced new methods for building and for casting in bronze, and new techniques and materials for painting. As Japan was isolated from the outside world for so long, the introduction of Buddhism helped Japan establish as a country. With this new religion changing society in such a big way, Buddhism became the state religion. Temples were built and people were made to sign up for any ceremonial duties to be done in temples. This includes registration for marriages, birth, death, and funerals. The founder of the Tokugawa shogunate, Tokugawa Ieyasu, was partial to Neo-Confucianism. Based on the Chinese Confucian philosophy, Neo-Confucianism was more religious than Chinese Confucianism and focused on identifying the purest essence of the things in the world. Its teachings also emphasizes reciprocal relationships between parents and children, and as well as between the ruler and the subject, and promoted the government rule by the most qualified. The Tokugawa shogunate relied on Neo-Confucianism for centuries to help bring order and stability to the previous war-torn Japan. Shintoism began to regain its former popularity, with its teaching also catching the interest of Ieyasu. Shintoism was one of the original religions of Japan, but when Buddhism and Confucian teaching arrived to Japan, it intertwined, forming the one religion that people began to follow. Shintoism was the religion which related back to the gods. The way of the gods was a teaching that was taught during this time. which more focused on sacred parts of the society. The moral code is also mentioned in this religion, but is partly based on the Confucian teachings.
For the culture, the code of conduct of the samurai is known as Bushido or Bushi. This code of moral principles which the samurai were required or instructed to observe. More frequently, it is a code unuttered and unwritten. It was an organic growth of decades and centuries of military career. In order to become a samurai, this code has to be mastered. There are 7 moral principles code to this Bushido. The first one is justice or rectitude, or known as gi. This is all about making sure that one have the right way when making a decision, that one will have the power to make a decision quickly. It is about making sure that an individual do not become indecisive and that the decisions are made and based on the right reasons. The second one will be respect or rei. It is important that in everything they believe, they must have respect and be polite in everything. The way they live their life meant they must be respectful of their elders. They must respect life, respect others' beliefs. The third one, honor or meiyo. To live and die with honor was very important to the samurai. Everything they did was honorable, which meant that they did everything in what they believe with honor. The fourth one would be courage or yu. This is about making sure that what they do is right and that one should have the courage to do the right thing and not just what people think they should do. If an individual is raised in a particular way, they will think in a way that they believe in. This is about making sure we do what we believe in and have the courage to do so. The fifth one would be benevolence or mercy, jin. As a warrior, the samurai have the power to kill. For the samurai, it was about making sure they fought for the right reason and that if you had to kill someone, they did it for the right reason and their belief, but that they also make sure that if there was no need to kill, they would have to be merciful and be sympathetic. The sixth one would be honesty or makoto. Honesty was very important as they believe that being honest in everything you do gives you respect and means you can be trusted. The seventh would be loyalty or chugi. Loyalty was probably one of the very important parts of what they did. They treated each other like family and would do everything within their power to protect and help their samurai warriors. Loyalty was important because this means they can trust their warriors and know they would be loyal to whatever they needed to do and not worry about losing their respect.
A typical machiya includes workspace and shop at the ground floor. This machiya had a relatively narrow facade which extended wide to the back because of taxation. During that time, taxation was charged based on road access, so the narrower the house, the less taxation being charged at the particular lot. Machiya typically occupied deep, narrow plots abutting the streets. The width of the plot was usually indicative of the wealth of the owner.
Art of Edo period. The Edo period in Japan saw the emergence of a new group of sophisticated art lovers, the townspeople called shonen. This group included merchants and artisans, many of whom prospered in the booming economy that led to an increased demand for luxury goods. Artisuto, artists. Artists catered to shonen taste as well as continuing to produce for the traditional art patrons in the elite classes of nobility and samurai. Although many still work for low wages in obscurity, the Edo period marks the emergence of the artists as individuals as the genius creator in Japan. Ukiyo-e, a genre of Japanese art which flourished from the 17th through 19th centuries. Its artists produced woodblocks, print and paintings of such subjects as female beauties, kabuki actors, and sumo wrestlers. The term ukiyo-e translates as pictures of the flowing world.
For technology, due to Japan's isolation, most of the shogunate's economy depended on the irrigation of rice fields and trade with East Asia. For farming, the farmers used the hoe, sickle, plow, fertilizers, and rice seedlings. After the Act of Seclusion, only one port was open for trade. The port of Nagasaki was open to the Chinese and the Dutch. The trade was known as the Shima.